moving on. Let's close off with the good old days really quick here. We were thinking, this comes from Rock Quarry. Shout out to Rock Quarry, a big time babble. Go check out his podcast and all of his stuff on the and his merch. Rock Quarry sent us a text earlier saying, "Hey guys, what should we talk about?" And I remember Jose sent out a response saying top scary movies. So Rock Quarry writes back in and says, "Hey boys, we love the topic so much. We want to hear your top scary movies from Xbox. Record this." So thank you, Rock Quarry. You're welcome on the show. By the way, we got to get you on the show. Bubble Boy, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Sorry, I need to go first, and you'll understand
No,
why,
let me go first. I need to go first. No, I really do need to go first. I only have one. It's Signs. That's the spookiest movie I've ever seen. I'll never forget being at the theater and seeing that alien walk by and Joaquin Phoenix backing up. That scared the literal caca out of me. I still, whenever I watch it, even when I know it's coming, I'm like freaked out. I get chills up my spine, you guys. Signs. Underrated, scary movie. Awesome ending, though. I loved all of the whole pastor breaking away, the water. Love Signs.
I actually almost texted
best
you guys
movie
and said, "Are Shyamalan movies? Do those count as scary movies?
Yes.
Like, can I include one?"
You're telling me Signs didn't freak the caca out of you when that alien walked
the alien
by?
scene,
and the hand,
right. It scared
and
you.
the hand.
You're right,
but
Come
that's your
on,
top
dude.
scary movie. I think you misunderstood the assignment.
And,
I'm not-
and jump scares, because the hand was a jump scare. The alien thing was like that shakes you to the core, and you'll remember.
I have
it's
another
scary,
one.
So.
I have another recent one. I for some reason, like, I've seen scary movies, but none of them stand out to me. I have one more. I recently watched The Witch the last year before. Also, very spooky movie. That
I hear
freaked
amazing
me out.
things about it.
You haven't seen it?
I need to.
Oh,
The Witch.
You need to watch that
like
in the dark
like
with Ashley.
Puritan England,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Make
No,
sure subtitles
I need
are
to. I
on
really want
because
to.
their English is really English. So
Yeah.
very like disturbing. The Witch. Shout out to The Witch.
Okay.
So that was the more recent one. I need to catch up, and I want you guys to go because these are going to give me some movies. I do want to watch. Shout out to the Kind of Funny guys. They're doing Scream in review recently. I want to go back and watch those. I've seen them all already, but I want to go watch them again because I'm sure Allie hasn't. She hates scary movies, so I can't wait to hear yours. Bubble Boy, give me your scary movies really quick.
Okay, so and I guess I just didn't know that about you, Daniel, because I was like, I have to go first because I want to preface this. Here are all the scary movies I haven't seen. All right, this is my first list, which is these are classics that I've missed: Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Exorcist, Alien, Psycho, Silence of the Lambs, and any of the Child's Play or Chucky movies. I haven't seen any of those.
I can add to that. I have not seen some of those, Nightmare on Elm Street being one of them. I only remember Freddy Krueger as a small child. Here's some deep breaking info for you guys. I had a nightmare of Freddy Krueger stabbing me, and I still can clearly remember this to this day. I was in my house in Chicago. I was running away from him from like a random mall, and I was hiding behind this pillar. He came around, stabbed me through my stomach, and I remember feeling this as like I must have been like 5 years old or younger, and I still remember this nightmare, you guys. I still have not watched Nightmare on Elm Street, so screw up Freddy Krueger. Chance, I have not seen some of those, but
I get it. I
was young.
And Chappelle's going to quit. I can just see, yeah. And
but
I'm sorry,
Chappelle, I
Jose.
like scary movies.
I'm sorry.
I've seen a lot of those, just not all of them.
So, yeah, and I think here's what you can see. I'm looking at my list here, right? There's all those classics that I missed because I was too scared when I was younger.
Oh, wait, let me add a chance.
And then I have this.
I went back, and I started watching the Jason movies. I did start watching Jason Voorhees. Remember, after we played Friday the 13th on the video game, I watched like the first three. Chance, you should go back and watch those because those are hilarious. They're not even scary.
I will. So that's what I'm really excited that, like, because of course I was like, I want to watch some just random YouTube videos as I was holding a baby the other day. Like, I want to see what some of these are, right? So you can see that I missed a bunch of classics when I was young and I was too afraid. But then you can see me getting back into scary movies when I got older, but not going back to the classics. And then I go away from them again because I met Ashley, and she absolutely hates scary movies. So I haven't seen like all the new, like The Conjuring and The Witch, like you said. So here is my top 5. And I, in one of the videos I was watching, and I should give him credit. I wish I could. I'll have to next time remember. What he said was, he's like, please remember, this is my list. This is not a definitive list. This doesn't mean these are the best. This is what scared me and made, or like I really liked. So I liked that he said that. And so here we go. Number 5, From Hell, with Johnny Depp, which is about Jack the Ripper. I love all things Jack the Ripper. And so that one, if you don't know anything about Jack the Ripper, there's all kinds of theories on who he was and what his motivations were. And I really like what the theory is on that one. Number 4, what probably kids these days would say, oh, that's a classic. Saw. Saw was so revolutionary for the time, and when it came out, and just all the different death scenes, and of course it spawned like 18 other movies. Nothing's better than the original with the Princess Bride in it. And so, yeah. Number 3, and this was the one I was like, I need to clarify, The Sixth Sense. I assume it's a scary movie, right? Does that count? I don't know if Chappelle would count it. Okay, he's saying yes. But again, and I just remember being mind blown.
Great movie.
In that, and I was like, I gotta go watch it again 17 times to see all the red and stuff. Guess what? Haven't ever watched it again, not even once, which is so strange, and I need to, because it was really scary to me too. I was like, I've always had this fear. I've never actually, I don't think, seen a ghost, and I've always had this fear of having to see one, because I have to partly believe they're real, but then I'm like, but I don't, not for me. They're real for, out there, but okay. Number 2, and I'm excited to do this with you, Scream. Scream was fantastic. Ashley and I, before this topic came up, happened to be talking in the car the other day, and this movie came up because she was like, what was like the one movie as a kid that really full-blown scared you? For me, it was Scream. And I can't even remember what it was, but it was real, right? It wasn't some supernatural thing. It was just that the first movie that I remember seeing that it was like, oh, it could just be like your friend. Like it could be anybody, right? Like probably not Jose,
Probably
but like
Dan.
maybe it was Ray. Yeah, or right. Like, and I can remember if Chapeau, if you remember our house on Virginia, I had that first room on the left, but then there was the one down the hall next to my parents, and there was a period of time where I slept in there with Court, but no, I slept on the love seat couch in my parents' room for like 3 years after watching that movie, and Chase still makes fun of me, and like every time we meet, because that movie just absolutely
I had
the
Scream mask before it got popular. I was like that random mask before, and I thought it was the coolest guy. I was like, I was Scream before.
Yeah,
Scream.
and that in itself wasn't scary to me, but there was just, man, that movie did me dirty. And then number 1, and I hope this is why I wanted to go before, or at least before Jose, mostly. House on Haunted Hill is my number 1 favorite.
Such a good movie, dude. Such a good movie.
And I saw it with Jose in the theaters, and I remember because it was A, scary, and B, I just really liked it. The soundtrack was fantastic. There was another Marilyn Manson shout out in that one. That was the dope, or not the dope show, the Sweet Dreams, the Sweet Dreams remake that he did, and just a really, really, really
that opening scene with the
movie.
roller coaster is really cool too. Remember?
Yep. So good. So then, and I had 3 lists here. I'm really sorry to do this, but I loved this topic. I had some honorable mentions: Final Destination, all the Final Destination movies, because of just all the creative killings. The Ring was really hard for me.
The Ring, yes, that would be on mine. That freaked me out. That
I went back
was
and forth
Scream.
between The Ring and From Hell, but again, From Hell is real, so that's actually really scarier. Right?
We don't know The Ring is not real.
Well, okay, but The Ring was awesome.
Dude, The Ring.
Identity was up there. I don't know if you guys remember Identity.
I don't know if that's a horror movie though. It was a good movie, great movie, but I don't know if it's a horror movie.
That's why I moved it down. But I was like, well, there's just all about murder, and then the other one, I don't know. So, Jeepers Creepers was one that actually genuinely
scary movie.
Justin Long too. That was a good one too.
Yep. Forgot about that for a reason.
You're like, what is that?
Scary, disturbing.
And then the last one that I want to talk about is the Blair Witch Project. And the reason I almost wanted to put it as like number 1 or 2 on my list, because at the time when it came out the idea of it was so scary to me that I refused to see it. And that lasted, a month or so, but then it got to the point where I was like, but I don't want to see it. 'Cause then, you find out it isn't actually real, but still, I don't know. And that, when you think about all the like Paranormal Activity and all these movies that have come out since, like that paved the way.
Okay. Chance.
Paranormal Activity is also really creepy, man.
I was going to say Paranormal Activity. You said
you start
Jeepers
questioning
Creepers.
around you and stuff.
Haven't seen it. I haven't seen
Oh
it.
my
They're
God,
good,
you're right.
dude. You should
Okay,
check
Chance.
those out.
That is scary.
And those
too.
are all the, like, if it happened since we've all had jobs, like the 2010 and on, I haven't seen them for the most part.
Well, thank you for those, Chance. What was the
yeah.
other one you said?
Oh,
Jeepers
time out.
Paranormal
Gosh,
Activity.
It's The Ring.
Ones.
The Ring.
The
was
Ring.
one.
Those three right there.
Final Destination.
And Final
Identity.
Destination, that would be on mine too. There we go.
I put one other thing on here,
Signs.
and the only reason it was because Signs, sure. On my honorable mention, it's not actually, it's a TV show, not a movie, but Haunting on Hill House, the season 1.
Oh, God,
And the
so
reason that
good,
I think it counts is because that's it. It's one season. They did a second season, but it's a completely different story. Haunting on Hill House was amazing. If it were a movie, it probably would have been my number one scary movie, because it not only it feels really real, right? It's still about ghosts, but it's so real, and then they make an incredible psychological explanation and just personal explanation for why it exists the way it does.
Yeah,
and I can't say any more without spoiling it, but Daniel, you have got to go watch it.
It's a masterpiece, dude. It's so good.
Yeah. So
What's
I
it
know I
on?
spent way too much time on that.
It was on Netflix
It's either
originally.
Amazon or
No,
Netflix.
it was Netflix.
And which means I can't go back and rewatch it because I don't have Netflix.
I do. Thanks, T-Mobile. Jose,
So-
you have 5 minutes, and then we're rolling out of here. No, I'm just kidding. You can
my
take
list
No,
is 15
don't do that to
movies
it.
long.
Okay,
but
hold on.
I'm going to
you
go
guys.
quickly.
Jose
Yeah.
loves Halloween and the spooky season, so we're going to give him this time in this segment. So if you want to dip on out of here, don't, because Jose deserves it, and we'll end it really quickly after this. So, Jose, let's hear your list. Bubble Boy, I loved some of those. I completely forgot about them, probably on purpose because they were terrifying. So, The Ring, Jeepers Creepers, Final Destination, and whatever that other one you said was. So, Jose, let's hear your
So I'm going to go as quick as I
definitive-
can.
Wait, do you
I
have a
think my
top- wait.
favorite...
Do you have a 5, 10?
No. Take your time, though.
Take your
Chipotle.
time.
Take your
Chipotle.
time. You don't have to
This
go
is
quick. 'Cause
your
this
segment.
This is
We're
your Super
closing-
Bowl, man.
exactly.
And I know I realized how emotional scary movies actually make you, and I wish as a medium they got more credit. Right, like it wasn't until Silence of the Lambs that they started to
Win
actually
awards.
get any credit.
Actually, technically,
and
it's
then-
Exorcist was before Silence of the Lambs.
Ooh, yeah. I
Okay.
still need to see that.
But anyway, yeah, no, please take your
Okay,
time.
Jose,
'cause
let's
you're
hear the
expert here.
definitive spooky season scary movie list as provided by Chipotle Bear. Timestamp it. Go.
So, first one on the list was actually really recent. We talked about it on the show. Was Fear Street? It's on Netflix as well. If you didn't have a chance to watch Fear Street, it's basically 3 movies. They're like a little over an hour each. They take place at different periods in history. One of them is in the Puritan, like 1666. Really cool, man. It was actually written by R.L. Stine, Goosebumps guy, but they're definitely adult themed. They're definitely don't watch them with your kids for sure.
Did you read Fear
but
Street when you were younger, Jose?
I did not.
Oh my gosh, you're blowing my mind right now. You
I
never
know,
read the
I
Fear
know.
Streets?
No, I need to. I know. Because
They
I
were
did
like-
Goosebumps.
Wait, it was a book first?
You guys didn't
There's
know
a whole
this?
series. There's a whole series.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, this
Oh
is
no.
this.
No, I knew it was
Dude,
R.L.
yeah,
Stine,
exactly.
but I
This
didn't know
is
it was a book.
speaking of. So rest in peace, Baca. Baca introduced me into Fear Street, you guys, and that
Yeah,
was like
I've heard they're awesome.
best. They're
I wanna
awesome
read 'em
because
with
it's like a
Penelope.
step above Goosebumps. It's like
Goosebumps, yeah.
real. Oh my! I'm shocked, Jose. Disgusting.
I know.
Keep going.
No, so check out the shows though. 3 of them, they're totally worth your time. They're really good. They'd be great to watch during Halloween this month. Next up on the list, Exorcist. If you've never really seen The Exorcist, it's really pretty freaky. And like, if you are religious at all, like I grew up very religious. I'm currently not as religious as I was, but still respect it, still believe in God and that kind of stuff. It's a great movie. And it also, if you ever get into the history of The Exorcist, a lot of really weird stuff happened on this production. Like a guy died during production and a lot of weird things occurred. And like it
Yeah, tell us more. if you know more. And something with the kid,
just
right?
go look it up. It's very
Well, she
terrifying.
never got it was hard for her to get cast as anything else because everybody always saw the freaking demon, and they did a great job. And especially because as old as it was nominated for an Academy Award. Like,
Yeah, I
great
remember
movie.
that.
Check out The Exorcist.
Wait, is this the same one as The Exorcism of Emily Rose? Is that the same one, or is that a different one?
Totally different.
Also
Totally
scary.
different.
Chance, have you seen that? Don't watch it. Scary.
It's
okay.
very scary.
Now you're bringing back these nightmares.
Next up on the list is a very unknown one called The Brotherhood of the Wolf. It was originally actually a French movie, and they dubbed it.
Yes.
And it's really, really cool, man. It's got almost like Matrix vibes in like Victorian France, and like a werewolf that's got a special story to it. It's really cool. Like, totally worth your time.
I am so glad you brought that up. When I was putting my list together, I could not for the life of me, and I was almost like Googling like weird European movie with a wolf or something.
Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Oh,
So good.
I knew you would know it. Oh, attaboy. All right.
Next up on the list was The Ring, just because, man, it was like in our teenage years, right? And man, it jacked me up for a long time. Like, where the TV, if you saw that static, you're like, I gotta go, I gotta get out of here, just because. And you just imagine people would be pranking each other, right? This was pre like iPhone days, where like you're like 7 days and you're like, stop it, dude, I'm gonna call the police. Like, people were getting freaked out. Another one on the list that's not really well known is called VHS. If you ever want to see just one that's really kind of will jack you up, it's called VHS. It's kind of, I think it's 3 different stories that are told from the story of like a video camera, almost Blair Witch style, but they also incorporate some supernatural stuff. And they freaked me out the first time. Like, it legitimately, like, I thought it was crazy.
How old are those? When did you see them?
VHS is relatively new, but there's sequels to it. So there's like VHS and a second, and then like a third.
Because the one guy that I really liked that was like, this is my list, so please don't hate me, like it's mine. Had VHS 2 like really, really high on his list.
They're cool, man. I really.
So I had never heard of them before.
They're different. They're unsettling is a good way to put them. Next up on the list is actually kind of more in the comedy genre, believe it or not, is Freddy versus Jason. And they're up higher on the list too, those other movies. But again, iconic characters from our childhood. And for decades before that movie, people were like, could you imagine if Jason fought Freddy? Like, and there were arguments about who would win. And they finally made it into a movie. And the movie is like, it's okay. As a movie, it had Kelly Rowland in it, fantastic actress.
Kelly Rowland.
And, but it was really, it was borderline funny, and of course horror movie. It was just great to see those iconic characters, and it had a cool ending. Like the way they did the ending was really well done. So that was fun. Next up on the list, I also saw with Chance was Bride of Chucky. Didn't we see that together at the Man Theaters? Was that not you?
I don't think I've ever seen a Chucky
It's
movie.
also in that genre of
Comedy.
like borderline comedy, but definitely still a horror movie. Definitely was much better graphics in like the original 3. Iconic picture of Chucky where he's like all torn up and sewn together and stuff. Great movie. Next up is the first Freddy Krueger one. It was actually the remake. I liked the remake better than the old ones. I think it was Michael Bay that did the remake. Did a great job. Like, just really updated it very well, made it very creepy. You know, the story of Freddy Krueger basically being a janitor in a school and like potentially harming kids. Like, that's how he becomes a monster and stuff. Like, just really creative. They did a great job with the remake. I really liked it. Next up, 13 Ghosts. Had Shannon Elizabeth in it, and was like a really cool story about like a house that was like kind of a machine, and they needed these ghosts, and you could only see them with these glasses and stuff, but there were some pretty creepy ones in there, and a decent story. Next up is an old one called The Thing. It's a John Carpenter movie.
Yes. So the
Really great
Moriarty
movie.
brothers, Knockback. I need to watch that. And they just did Nightmare on Elm Street. I need to watch these. Oh, and they did Exorcism. So Jose is just knocking on.
Yeah, and they did a remake of The Thing. It's kind of like a sequel that was actually really good. I actually really liked it too. But the original is just, God, it's so good, dude. And it has Kurt Russell in it. And there's some stuff that just you will not expect, but really, really great. Chance?
Well, and what made The Thing, because I have seen that one actually, and I remember because we had a film club a long time ago at Gateway, and I didn't know this about The Thing, but what made it so special too is that all of it was real, the effects and everything. So there were no special effects. It was all handmade, everything, and that's why. And I didn't see the sequel because I was like, well, it's not the same.
You should see the sequel, dude. They did a really good job with it because they didn't just remake the first one. They put some twists on it in a good way. Next up on the list, we're in my top 5 now. Was the first DVD I ever bought, which was Deep Blue Sea. LL Cool J, really smart sharks in the middle of the ocean.
That counts.
Such a great movie, dude.
Oh,
And it's
if that counts, that might skyrocket all the way up
it's
to
on the
one for
border
me.
of horror, but it's definitely
They
designed.
ate me.
I mean, and I didn't have Jaws on my list, but Jaws is also a great movie.
Now
but
Jose's going to
this
tell me he's
kinda
got
killed that.
snakes on a plane on his list
No,
too.
I
Come
don't have
on
that on my
now,
list.
Jose.
It's Twilight, Snakes on a Plane, high school musical.
Drop Dead Gorgeous. Next up is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series, the original one, which was also just incredibly creepy and obviously based off of not Gacy, one of the real serial killers of the 70s. But the remake, the one that was done with like Jessica Biel in it and stuff like that, was like, ooh, it
I have seen that.
definitely was
I did see that.
really dark and scary and very weirdly believable because of like.
Let me ask you this, because I get it mixed up all the time with House of a Thousand Corpses. I think, aren't they really similar?
They're very. I mean, they're similar ideas that like a group of friends driving through the country, car breaks down, and they basically get tortured by like a backwoods kind of family. House of a Thousand Corpses was significantly more unsettling and like very just jacked up. It was made by Rob Zombie, right? Who has a brilliant mind, but also very dark. This one, I want to say it was either Wes Craven or maybe Michael Bay that did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. But he did a great job. The Leatherface rendition was really awesome. Next up on the list, Dawn of the Dead remake, the one with Mekhi Phifer and Ving Rhames, where they're in the mall, not the 70s version,
Great
even though that's
movie.
a great
Forgot
version,
about that.
but really great movie. Just like it was kind of predating
Disturbing.
some of that zombie stuff with like Walking Dead. It also has Phil Dunphy in it as really a jerk, and he plays a really great character in that movie, and a really cool sequence to end the movie, and then a great ending. Also a really dope soundtrack. Last three. The original Halloween with Michael Myers, like just such an iconic film. Jamie Lee Curtis, the music, everybody knows like the Mr. Sandman song. Everyone knows the classic piano riff, the dun 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 dun, like that thing. And then also the remake that Rob Zombie did. I thought he did a really cool job of it. He did make it significantly darker, but still in that same universe. And then the sequel, I actually really like two of that. But my number one movie, it is a Friday the 13th movie. That is my favorite franchise by far. I actually bought them all on iTunes for like $20 last year. So I have all 8 of them that I've been watching through this month. My favorite is number 4. So in the sequence of the movies, they actually made one, which is
right before 4. I got 1 through 3.
so spoiler alert, but you've had 40 years. So on.
No,
you're on your own.
don't spoil 4. No, don't do it. I'm literally about to watch it.
So let me just say this. When they originally made them, they were only going to make 4 of them. They were going to make 4. So number 4 is called The Final Chapter. They ended up making 5, 6, 7, 8. Then they made Jason Goes to Hell. Then they made Jason X. Then they made Freddy versus Jason. I mean, like they just kept it going and going. And now they've restarted remaking them like with Michael Bay. But I love it. Corey Feldman is in number 4. It also has the most nudity of all of the Friday the 13th movies. Just a fun fact if you see the unedited version. But it's like the most iconic of like some of the weapons you've seen Jason with. It has, I think, the best resolution with like killing Jason in it. So it's my number 1 favorite movie of Halloween. It's actually, I'm watching it right now. I'm on number 3. It's the next one I get to watch probably here in the next couple days. So I'm excited, but I love horror movies. As a kid, they scared me a lot. Yeah. And I think the way I got through it was just watching lots and lots of them. That's how I kind of got over it. So yeah, I love Halloween, love scary movies. And if you've made it this far in the episode, I salute you. If you ever want to chat about scary movies, hit me up.
Great topic.
Well, and I got to ask, were you not counting Aliens as a scary movie? Because that was
it's my
like
number
your
1 movie.
best-
I have it. I had it, but I would put that more in the science fiction realm. I mean,
I need to watch that too.
Yeah, because it popped up on some of the scary movie things I was watching, and Jose, and I don't know if you know this about me, I've never seen any.
I'm not judging.
It's okay.
Here's
I
what
don't
I'd
think
say.
I have either chance. Parts. I've seen parts.
If you watch them now, I think you still will like them, both of you. A lot of these movies, but it's.
Oh wait, no, I saw Prometheus. That's one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's in that that
Yeah, actually, I
Isn't that a
did see
prequel or
that
something
too.
like
Yeah,
that?
Yeah, it's a prequel.
yeah.
They're just.
Yeah. But you didn't
Yeah, I
know it
do.
at the time when it came out, which I think was super cool.
Yeah,
Well,
Jose
you
would
probably-
appreciate
yeah.
it way more than we would. Yeah,
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
do
and
kinda-
if you see it now, if you see them Aliens, and Alien 3, you could probably skip Alien 3. Honestly, you will just get a lot more like references, and you'll see the world kind of coming together with a lot of these. Like as you watch the Friday the 13th, you'll get all these references about Jason and Camp Crystal Lake. You know, the Friday the 13th game. Remember, like the opening scenes would see when it's loading. All of those are from movies.
it's really cool. Like the spear death, I'm like, I
The
know
spear
that,
through the bed,
I
right?
know that.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
So I can't wait to watch these.
And then, yeah, and then the other one, I've never seen any of the Predator movies. Does Predator not count?
I
Is
would
that
say more sci-fi action, but also I love the Predator films. I love the one that they did with Adrian Brody, like the more modern one. I like the where there was like big predators, the one with Olivia Munn. That was the newest one, like Alien, Predator, Terminator, horror, sci-fi. Like that is my world.
Terminator is fantastic.
I'm glad I put all these missed classics on
Jose,
here.
I'm
'cause
going
I
to need you
gotta-
to send me.
Man, I got a
your
backlog of
definitive
movies.
list here. That's the problem, though, Chance. Like you're saying, it's just hard to get Allie to watch them with me. Like I'm like, come on, we can do Scream. Come on, and she's like, no, like nightmares.
So that's the other thing about Haunting on Hill House and why it would have been number one had it been a movie. Ashley even loved it. She was like, "This is an
Allie
incredible
did get through the witch with me,
piece of
and
art."
I felt like I was more freaked out than she was from it. But Paranormal Activity, though, Chance, that I remember getting like serious chills in the back of my neck from Paranormal Activity. So thanks for bringing that nightmare back.
And that one's at least based.
You have
off
to
of,
see that in
yeah, that's
theaters, though.
based
There's
off
nothing
of
like
something real,
exactly
isn't it?
like the potential of ghosts and stuff like that.
Oh, but they're still worth seeing now.
Oh,
they
yeah,
were
look at
they were
Chappelle here.
so freaky.
Yeah, if
dude,
you have a
the
good
Paranormal
sound bar,
Activities.
chance. Anyway, we could talk about this all day, guys.